when you look at other people watch it, I mean, okay, we got some people watching. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our bi-weekly sports show here on the TIR YouTube channel, Beyond the Red Zone, where my lovely co-hosts discuss sports from a left perspective. If you're enjoying what you see, please give the show a like. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and don't forget that notifications bell so you know when we go live. With that being said, let me bring in the real stars of the show, Marcus of the Left Flank Vets.
Yo, what's up, what's up?
And Macadacious Docious. You don't know history.
Love everybody. Love y'all. How's everybody doing?
I want to apologize to everyone for hearing some off-air talk from me before we went live, because I didn't mute myself while I was laughing at the fact that I had Mac and Marcus watching my new favorite movie, Fly By Night, the 1992 hip-hop movie written not by anyone that knows anything about hip-hop, but oh boy, is it hilarious. And I'm willing to risk this video getting demonetized by playing the title track of that, one of the songs they do at the end of this show, just so you guys can see why I'm such a big fan of this movie. It confuses me on a lot of different levels. Mainly the dialogue in the movie. I have yet to meet someone that uses some of these words like bumping in real life, in the context in which they use them. Many of the actions by the movie's antagonists are also baffling to me as well, as I did grow up in the inner city and have never, ever seen anyone behave in such a manner. So if you haven't seen the movie already, please give it a look. It is free on YouTube, and it has some of the greatest hip-hop music of the 90s.
Yeah, if what you shared with us is just a small morsel, I don't think I want to eat anymore, Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a Brussels sprout, and you bite into it, and it's soggy and gross. That's what listening to that track did for me personally.
Yeah, you know, like when you heat up like a hot pocket or maybe like a pizza roll. See, now like the lava mouth that everybody knows like that's bad, right? You burn your shit. But like I think actually it's worse. It's like when you take that bite and there's that frozen lump in there.
Oh yeah.
So that the song Jason showed us was like it was all frozen lump.
Marcus, we stick it in there for what, like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And it's still like enough to like chip a tooth.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. It's like the water boy water that's always cold. Like that frozen lump stays frozen.
I defies science. It defies science.
I have a house guest with me, right? And very, very wonderfully patient woman. And I said, I need for you to watch just the first 20 minutes of this film. As she just said off mic, and an hour and a fucking half later, she watched the whole thing. And she was equally as baffled in the movie, because there is a scene where when they're going to go sign a record deal, they have some sort of Zionist dialogue with the surprise Jewish record label owner.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I don't want to watch this.
No, Jason, you better be like throwing me a plane ticket to Mexico if you want me to watch this shit.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Like, and I'm not flying coach on this one, and I'm not getting one of those like laying down seats that like Delta and American are thrown in. I want first class, dude. Like, you better woo me if you want me to watch this movie.
Makes me feel icky,
dude. I really need you guys to watch this shit, because I'm telling you, there's this fucking scene, it's the funniest shit ever. Like, the main character, this black dude, is supposed to be smart, but every time he gets around white people, he starts talking like a freed slave. And he gets this, and he gets with a white girl because of course. And then the white girl starts talking about the reason why rap is so violent is because of murder rates in Bangladesh. And you're like, what are you talking about? And then the black dude goes, man, why you be knowing all these things?
Oh my god. Okay.
No. Okay, the first class ticket isn't enough. You're putting me up in a nice Airbnb, Jason, as well. All right, like this is
wrong with you. What? Like the most fucked up racial shit. Jason's just like a pig in mud. Like any type of shit where it's just like, no, whoever wrote, directed, acted in, like all of these people are all types of fucked up, utilizing stereotypes in all the worst ways. And Jason's like, I watched it 3 times.
Yeah.
This movie made me an Afro pessimist. Like I called Wilson yesterday. I was like, I get it.
I mean, that's the thing, Marcus. He doesn't just watch it 3 times. He then writes like a 6,000 word essay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's gonna have a YouTube channel.
He's gonna have a 3-parter in sublation and a 20-minute video fucking essay, all based on like how fly by night is like some way to fucking analyze the damn housing situation for people, like just like specifically like just the Bay Area. Like it's just like, well, you see, like it all comes after Rodney King, right? Now fly by night. And like he just fucking starts going off on
it. I need you guys to watch. I wanna watch it. Okay, if whoever's watching the show, there's got to be a few patrons here. Would you guys be down to watch this as a patron movie night?
Do not.
And we can all pause it. And if you guys like, Jason, okay, I have a question, and you can like make a comment, because there's a scene where the white girl love interest walks in with a date who's also a white man, and the guy's like, I gave up my tickets to Les Mis for this, and then the white chick walks in back, and she sees like 6 hella thuggy ass looking Negroes, and the thirst look in her eyes gets hella real.
No.
This date just ain't working out, so if you want to leave, it's totally cool.
No, my
Jason,
God.
Jason,
Fellas
you know,
about
if you
things.
ask me to participate, I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to bitch and moan the entire time.
Don't do it. It's a trap, Mac. You have to know this is a trap.
It's a
I
trap.
can't, Marcus, I can't say no to Jason. I can't do it.
You gotta say no.
Love
You
the
gotta
man.
say no. This is a trap. This is a trap. This is a trap. Don't like that seems like don't be the white guy on screen when they're playing that shit. Don't do it. That's a fucking trap.
There's so many scenes in this movie. And
Oh
so
my
after
God.
the black guy,
You gotta react. You understand, Mac? You gotta react perfectly to every scene, right? You understand that?
This is
A lot
what's
of pressure.
Marcus. This is
Yeah.
what's funny. This is because so the movie starts right. When the movie starts, the main
No,
character.
that's
is
not what the
Marcus.
show's about.
Oh,
It's not what the
this
show's
is a
about
sports
tonight.
show. I don't want to talk about this movie no more.
I need. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
Wait, no one else is
Trying to
laughing.
figure
Like,
out the plot.
this is making everybody else feel pain. You get that? What you find funny, it makes me want to scrum it.
Marcus, I actually thought about that today. I'm like, he's gonna bring it up on the show tonight. I know he will.
Is that when you boo boo and vomit at the same time?
It's when you. It's a terrible. It is a horrible wave of violence coming to the children's because they smoke weed. It's a mixture of
Yes.
screaming and vomiting, scromiting.
They must
And
know a lot
Jason,
of death metal singers.
I'm not kidding you when I say that the author of its name, it was Eve something. And when she posted all this shit on Twitter, they were like, well, there's a dumber person named Eve, and it's not Eve Fartlow anymore, you know?
Yeah. But it's like really, it's like the fucking weed panic shit of like, she was like, oh, we, you know, like the reefer these days, reefer, ran this shit. And it was like, and the scromiting. Have you heard of scromiting?
And Jason, the best part was that
that's
she's like,
the-
there's actual medical people talking about scromiting right now. And like a whole list of doctors were like, bro, not a thing. Knock that
No.
shit off. It's not real.
Like, I mean, it's like something. It's like, oh shit, like you hit the fucking, you know, you hit it a little too hard, you know. Like I've seen people fucking, you know, they cough so hard they scrum it just a little bit, but it's not like a problem.
I yes. So I might have scromited the other day when I was singing in my car coming back from LA. I got stuck in traffic, so it took way too long. So I was like singing really loud to stay awake. And if you know what kind of music I like, then you know it's not really singing.
Yeah.
And I definitely had to pull over and scrum it. That did. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like I'm not even making this shit up. That actually is a true story. I was like, "Blah, well." I was getting all fucking into it and shit, and I'm air drumming on a fucking like,
Oh, fucked around.
I should have done
Made
this.
myself scrum it. See, I
Made
told you.
myself scrum it.
It's
So
fucking.
kids, stay away from the metal. It makes you scrum it. Stay away from the hardcore. Just stay with the pop punk. Nasally singing, you will never scrum it.
Now, before we get
All
into
right.
the
I'm gonna
actual
skip
sports, I need like 2 minutes. I need 2
Go for
minutes.
Go for it. Here, I'm gonna hear.
If you're going to protest, here's a little tip. Here are some tips. Okay? Buy the athletic wraps for your arms and legs. If you have tattoos, stay covered up. If you are protesting during the day, keep in mind most municipalities are using Amazon Web Services, which have retinal scans, where polarized lenses in or keep your face covered. On top of that, carry a bag. Inside that bag, have plenty of water, have some first aids. Tell you right now, if you get gassed, do not pick up the canister. take it away. All right. If you get gassed, do not use milk in your fucking eyeballs. Use water, or if you want to pre-plan, go get some saline. Okay? Just be safe, because these fucking cops are out to get everybody right now. So be safe, take care of each other, and there's no shame in beating a tactical retreat to live another day and fight. So that's all I needed. Thank you.
Can I add some shit?
Go for it.
Split a burner between you and some people. Don't bring your phones. You know, that type of shit. Write down if you get connected to bail funds and shit like that. Make sure you've got like those numbers, you know, written down on your wrists and shit. So like whatever the fuck, any clothing that you're fucking wearing should be like nondescript type shit. If you can, pay for that shit with cash, especially when it comes to shoes, because cops, they do like track like all like literally they will track like what like you've bought on the internet and say, oh hey, that's the same pair of shoes. Yeah, and then the stuff Max said.
Okay, but if you do get gassed, get those clothes off as soon as you can, and if you're going to keep them, wash them 3 or 4 times before you try and put them back on. Because Marcus and I can attest, it burns like a son of a bitch, even after you wash them a few times.
It's better to wash them outside in the hose, you know, like don't, cause you could fuck up your whole laundry room.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys have to get gas in the service?
Yeah, so there's a few different ways. There's like a gas chamber where, you know, it's supposed to, like the practicing for getting like gassed in a large environment. But then also, Mac, I don't know if you have to get like OC sprayed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they'll also do like the direct like pepper spray, and you gotta go through a course and all that shit. But anytime you do the gas chamber, like all your camis, your boots, everything gets covered in the basically little pepper crystals. You know, that's what the cloud of dust is. It's like tiny little pepper crystals that'll get in your eyes and mouth and lungs and fuck you up. But if you bring that shit home and just like set it down, as soon as you start putting that shit on, it's just releasing those crystals back into the air. And basically you're just regassing yourself.
And guys, we got some legal advice in the chat too, from Jessica Sanlu is actually putting in some legal advice for phones as well. So now that we're pivoting to something more serious, that was a really smart pivot, Mac. You are a G at this shit. Just want you to know that. There was a shooting today that even made the news for me here in Mexico at a parade in Illinois.
Yeah.
The reports I've seen, 6 people sadly lost their lives. Shooting from a building with a high-powered rifle. The suspect shot into a crowd, injuring dozens, and like I said, killing 6 so far. Now, any hyperbole about gun legislation, guys? What do you have to say about this? And could it be more ironically American?
No, that's like exactly kind of what I thought. On Independence Day and like surrounding towns have to cancel their parades because of a mass shooting at a parade. It's like that, and that's just it. It's like here goes the cycle again for the same fucking thing. It's just gonna run the whole the gamut again, and the thing is too is like there's no real like helpful solutions on the horizon, and like that seems like talk about like hyperbole about gun legislation. It's all fucking hyperbole. Like it's all nothing is actually going to happen, in order to start really tackling these fucking issues anytime soon. Like I don't know what else to say, right? Or other than like this shit is getting scarier, and I think it's gonna get worse too, because there's a lot of the laws that are coming down. It's gonna just gonna be easier to sell and buy more guns, take them more places. Like DC Metro, there's a lawsuit going right now, or like a case going through right now, so people can carry guns on the Metro. And
Word.
Have pretty strict gun legislation against like pistols, like carrying pistols within the city.
They do, and that now that case is someone is suing to be able to carry on the Metro, and now that case is and now they're just doing exactly what they've been doing the whole time, where they'll just bounce it up to the Supreme Court
and they'll
then
win it.
Carry it and fucking lock and load on the Metro. That sounds,
it's insane. But the Metro is awesome because it looks just like BART in the Bay Area.
Well, I mean, honestly, Jason, Marcus is absolutely right. Like Ohio, Mike DeWine, the governor, just signed, into law that you need no certification to carry. Right? Like, you can just put a pistol on your hip in a holster and you're good to go.
Yeah.
In the whole state?
Yes, in the entire state. Right?
Okay.
And the thing is, we're seeing, like, Florida already has that law. South Carolina is getting ready to put that law through. North Carolina just eliminated. They're getting ready, like, essentially the General Assembly is going to override the governor's veto to make it so that you can just open carry whatever you'd like. So if I wanted to go to the grocery store with a rifle strapped to my back, I would be able to. Right? So Marcus is absolutely right. In these red states, we're going to continue, I guess, expansion of like open carry laws and, I guess procurement laws, so it's just going to be made easier and easier to get these weapons, which kind of kills me because you can't buy a beer until you're 21, but in like 36 states, the minute you turn 18, you can go purchase a rifle.
And I mean, that's like, and speaking of that, I mean, Uvalde, like that was, 18-year-old kid that like literally bought those on his birthday, bought one on his birthday and like the other one a few days later. This shooting, out in Highland Park in Illinois, that dude was 22 years old, like there's, it's kind of, and even still too is like, even it's like, oh, you can buy a drink, like you can't buy shit at 22, right? Like, could you buy a house at 22? Why would it be easier for a fucking 22-year-old or 20, like anyone to
bro,
get?
You can't even rent a car at 22 with some of these companies, man.
My daughter was actually just kind of joking about that, about how her and her boyfriend were having a hard time renting a car because I wanted them to come see me. I was telling Marcus this earlier before you got on, Mac.
Get a gun.
We're in the moment of kayfabe, where everyone knows the game is rigged, but they're still looking for heroes in action. And this reminds me of that moment when I know you Ohio boys know about this because this was big where you were, whereas mainstream wrestling, WWF and WWE kind of starts to move away, the Attitude Era, from the athleticism and more into characters. What we see in what maybe you would call the minor leagues or the backyard wrestling is kind of insane stunts from young people taking it to another level, right? Like, I'm going to jump off the roof of my parents' house onto a table full of nails while someone's recording it, and we might put it up on this new thing. There's not even YouTube yet when a lot of this stuff is happening.
Yeah, wait, and that's when like the pre-Jackass shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is also fucking making it.
And ECW drove that.
ECW
like, honestly, it was ECW that drove that.
Yeah.
And I loved ECW. I actually saw a couple like in Philly, at the ECW arena, and it was mind-blowing that you had all these like big hulking guys, like what you would think McMahon, like just big guys that just threw little people around. But then you had like people like Sabu and Taz, that were like high flying and more like, I guess, Taz was like the guy who, like the suplex master, whatever the hell his nickname was, right? Like, it was a weird kind of amalgam of all these different types, and they just made it work because, you're jumping into a ring that's filled with, tacks, or, like the top ropes are exploding.
This was young people like we're seeing, and again, you guys can say I'm silly. This to me was young people saying wrestling is fake, but for us it was real, and we're going to show the world this is where we're going to be serious about this. These shooters to me are these people saying Richard Spencer really ain't about that life. I'm about that life. I'm going to put in that real action. This is all Death Wish 4, not 2, not even 3. This is Death Wish 4, where it's just a bazooka shooting brown people in some sort of dystopian East Coast landscape.
I think more like the Richard Spencer's, like they work in conjuncture, like I think Richard Spencer's just the more mature like iterations of these things, because they all have their fucking roles, like literally like there are the certain fucking sects of neo-Nazi that say, hey, we need to have a little pretty boy it up, enough with the tattoos or whatever, like just to give it a broader, like to kind of sell to a broader audience, but that also gives breadth for like the fucking more extreme that are going to be doing the attacks and shit like that. But I think that relationship that you're talking about, that is something that kind of like happens internally, because Richard Spencer is like, or at least is like more the face, and they're like a lot of motherfuckers are gonna be like, why are you fucking talking about him? Like, and like you said, like I'm gonna do the real deal shit. Work. Yeah,
I put in that work, and someone said in the chat, Dave L, the Highland Park shooter was definitely the star of the movie in his head. So that's I'm still working on this thing, and I'm actually really excited about. It's going to drop August 10th, so there will be a video essay. Will I add clips from Fly By Night in it? I don't know yet.
Just say yes. There's going to be clips from Fly By Night in it.
I don't even know if I can.
It's going to be like it's going to be totally fucking separate from everything. Like you're going to do like the credits and everything like that. It's going to be actually like that's what you got to do. Like every video you make, you just put a Fly By Night clip at the very end just to see if people pay. You still paying attention?
Look, I do shoehorn shit that makes no sense. The last video essay, I found some footage. I was like, I have to put it in. And it was footage of this movie called No Retreat, No Surrender, where there's a training scene where this dude is doing dips, and he's got another dude sitting on his lap. And the dude is just sitting there drinking a drink. Dude is doing his fucking dips like this.
That's just guys being dudes.
Honestly, you'll see that on an.
That's how I did. We did a lot of
green workout.
Gosh, they used to make us do these fucking you do like sit-ups, but someone is like holding you. Like you wrap your legs around somebody's waist and like lock your legs in.
Mm-hmm.
They hold on to your
What's the thing
belt.
called when you got to eat the other guy's ass?
Those are like the train push-ups.
Oh, that's a push-up?
Like a team push-up. Yeah, that's where like your legs.
Someone's just taking it too far.
You put your feet on someone else's shoulder and it just looks like a giant chain. It's ridiculous, but Jason, you're not wrong. If you have like a weak dude up front, he's gonna hit the deck. He's hitting the deck, and your face is going right into his asshole.
Yeah.
Like it's how it is, man.
It's happening.
There was a picture. Marcus didn't make one of the Saturday shows, and he had sent me a message, but not Pascal. And Pascal was like, "Oh, what happened to Marcus?" And I found that picture for some reason. It just showed up for no reason at all in a feed, and I was like, "Oh, this is where Marcus is. He's training." And
oh my god, you piece of shit. Although that happens a lot, because like the thing is too is like you always pick someone like the trick, You know, there's always gonna be like someone to like fuck with, and then like everybody in on it, and like you just jam his face into somebody's ass.
All right, we can't tell. Those are the
Yeah, you gotta stop. I gotta stop saying fucking Marine Corps stories because Pride Month is over. So,
but let's jump into sports.
Okay. I want to start
like,
the first topic off, and then I will literally just walk off screen because after I say this, I will have actually died inside. That the fact that I'm actually saying this on air. I believe Mac brought it to my attention, and I didn't want to believe it was real. 2 of the tentpole schools, in my opinion, of the Pac-10 conference are leaving USC, the school with how many Heisman Trophy winners went there? Let's just name some. Let's just name some. So we can. They don't
have anyone that won it twice. So
O.J. Simpson.
That's facts,
right? Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush is the real Heisman winner, not Vince Young. Who did Charles White win a Heisman? I believe
so.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Wasn't
so.
Charles White a Heisman winner?
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Allen, also Super Bowl MVP.
Now some of those Heisman Trophy winners, that's attributed to the school, right? And some of those schools are no longer in the Pac-12. So,
like, look, I went to the Coliseum to do a music festival.
In a few years, the Big Ten will just have more Heisman Trophy winners. So
the Big Ten is going to have way more. They're going to have Archie Griffin and OJ now. They can be like the 2 greatest college running backs of all time.
Ooh.
Marcus Allen, maybe the 3 greatest, right? Marcus Allen, OJ, and Archie Griffin. I can't think of 3 better college running backs.
Why does this hurt you?
This hurts me because, first of all, I know that the NIL is going to cause schools like USC and UCLA to get top-tier athletes, because who's not going to want to be in a number 1 media market? You will no longer have to be in the bowels of the South in shitty places like Sorry, my people in Florida and Alabama, I love y'all like play cousins, but if I didn't spend so much time in the South, I wouldn't be saying this. Gainesville, where's Alabama again? Tuscaloosa. Who the fuck wants to go where mosquitoes and roaches are as big as baby feet, when you can stay your ass home in sunny ass LA, right? Who wants to go to these places? So when you know you can sell your likeness, and let's not forget, the Rams won a Super Bowl, but a good Trojans team, a good UCLA team is still way more popular than the pro team.
Yeah.
You will be dating a Kardashian.
Not a football player.
That's gonna be against team rules. I'm guessing. Yeah.
All right. Kardashians.
And the Kardashian clause right there. Yeah. You gotta stay away from him.
Reggie was the only football player that they hooked up with. They've been strictly basketball since. I mean, Courtney. Nothing broke my heart when Courtney and the oldest one showed up at the Quicken Loan Arena during the 2016 finals when we were down we were down 3-1, and at that point Tristan Thompson's like, "Woman, take your ass home," and then look what happened. Right?
Mac, did Carson Palmer win a Heisman? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either.
I know he was the number 1 overall pick that
year.
Yeah,
since he took him, but I don't believe he won a Heisman.
I didn't even bring it up.
Strom says, I would not date a Kardashian for $100 million. Strom, I would date you for $100 million.
Jason, I would date you for $1 million.
I would date all.
I would date a Kardashian for $1,000 and a lifetime supply of Big Macs.
Sound like Donald Trump.
Carson Palmer did win Heisman 2002. He was the Heisman winner. Who was the runner-up that year?
Okay,
someone who should have got it.
with Carson Palmer won. So that's the legacy of greatness. That Troy Aikman. If you're a Troy Aikman fan,
No, but like
UCLA
okay.
alumni, Troy Aikman.
So I guess like
I guess we're going out of order
please.
for the topics today, but okay.
we have to bring this up, man. This has to be the start of the show. So after that, I will walk off screen,
right.
cry.
I have a lot to say. So Marcus, you open up first, man. I think
okay.
You should open up.
First, I do have to request Jason that you, if you could pull up the picture that I so artfully made.
Give me a minute.
Okay, well, while we're discussing, it's very pertinent.
Authentication on everything, so give me a minute.
But no, I mean, so tradition, history, all that shit be damned. All of this was like everything was just riding on the fucking, like what gets fucking people in the seats, what creates big games. What gets big TV contracts, and this is that, this is USC and UCLA saying Pac-12 isn't the market for us anymore. Damn regional, just things that make sense with having regional conferences. Damn that. There's better teams in the Big Ten. Is going to have a better fucking viewership on TV. We're going to get more money. That's it. Full stop. And I mean, I think like the only thing I don't like about it is the fact that they're in Cali and like flying all, like they should just, if you got to make some big fucking conferences, make some big conferences that make sense, and then go from there. There it is.
This is just heartbreaking, man. This is heartbreaking. but we were talking about this the last show about high school sports. Look, you're just going to have like 4 academies, and now for college sports, you're going to have 3 conferences.
Oh, it ain't going to be 3, Jason. It's not going to be 3.
Well, this is
it'll be 2.
Going, like if it's like, oh hey, if I could like do anything I want moving forward, and it was just like you just separate fucking sports from schools, okay? Like not necessarily like you're probably going up to high school, but like, and I'll say this: there needs to be a complete separation from pro sports, which these college athletes, they are professionals, like they have been. They like that. They just needs to be completely separate from educational institutions. Like that's the actual right answer, because a lot of this jockeying shit too is on like fucking quote unquote academic institutions. They're offshoots making these multi-million-dollar decisions. This doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree with you, Marcus. And the thing is, it's like, I mean, I'm sure everybody bemoaning, like, especially like the college sports writers and stuff, especially, right? They were bemoaning like the loss of tradition, the traditional rivals, this, and this, right? And they're just like, it's never going to be the same again. It's like, dude, this sport has been a business for 40 years.
Thank you.
Right? The minute NCAA lost the case against Oklahoma and I believe Texas and Notre Dame, so they can negotiate their own TV deals. And I think it happened in 83, maybe 84. If I get the dates wrong, everybody, I apologize. But when that happened and you introduce that kind of money into the sport, you can't say it's not a business at this point, right? Because all you did was see the TV deals just continue to grow and grow and grow. Now, if we're talking
the Notre Dame deal in the 90s or the late 80s, the Notre Dame.
Yeah. I mean, and they've had that steady deal with NBC, and I'm going to get to what I think is going to happen there in a second, Jason.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good, man. Like, the thing that killed the Pac-12 is with absolutely zero respect for the league anyway. Larry Scott, all right, that league, when he negotiated the substandard television contract with Fox Sports, thinking that Fox would kind of give them some work with the scheduling. So like maybe their football would be on like 3 p.m. Eastern. That never happened. So you either got 9 a.m. kickoffs on the East Coast, or you got Pac-12 after dark.
Yep.
Right in between. And that was something Fox did not care to do because at the time, they weren't even competing with the Big 12 for money, you know? So when Larry Scott did that, keep in mind, Larry Scott, his only experience running a sports league was the Women's Tennis Association for about 5 years before he got the Pac-12 job. And he got them a massive TV deal compared to their old one. So when the Pac-12 saw that, they're like, dude, we have to hire this guy because he can get us money. He can get us that Big 12 at the time, Big 10 SEC money, and it never happened. So when you're losing that kind of, the dollar wars against the Big 10 and the SEC especially, it's not going to be good, especially when you see that the Pac-12 paid out almost 30 than what the Big 10 did to their member schools last year, almost 40 million less than what the SEC paid out to their member schools. So like when you see that happening, it's no wonder that, the two, like you said, flagship programs of the Pac-12, who should be absolutely dominant and honestly have been straight ass the last probably 10 years, saying, what, we wear. Now, Marcus, I also agree with you that if you're going to go coast to coast the way the Big Ten just did, from the Atlantic coast to the Pacific coast, you're going to have to do more to fill in, those gaps to cut down on travel costs. And I think that the Big Ten, when USC and UCLA get there, they're going to do away with divisions completely, and it's just going to be the top two teams in the Big Ten that go to the Big Ten championship game.
Well, there's also one thing that you have to keep in mind is that the Pac-12-10 schedule was to play each other. And
they had the alliance
games. So when you think about the Big Ten and a school like Ohio State that has to play every school in Ohio, which is just like, come on, you guys definitely always pad your schedule. One of the better games during kind of the end.
They don't play every school in Ohio. That come on,
it's impossible.
They'll play one. They either get like a Miami or a fucking Akron or a they usually get one. OU sometimes.
Youngstown State is was off the schedule for 4 years and was only filled in during the COVID year because they had to fill in a week when the Big Ten decided. The Big Ten has a working rule that Big Ten member schools are not allowed to play FCS opponents. And Youngstown State is FCS.
I mean, they played Youngstown State before COVID.
Yeah, they did. Prior to COVID, there was the Big Ten instituted that rule. Now, don't get me wrong. Prior to that, Youngstown State was on there, but like Marcus said, it was Toledo, it was Akron, it was Miami of Ohio, OU a couple times. I mean,
everybody does. Come on, man. Everybody does that shit.
You can't.
But
that's the Pac-12.
You can.
You got to play each other.
The Pac-12.
They have a non-conference schedule, Jason, and they play the Mountain West, and they play the Sun Belt.
They play 2 non-conference games, if I'm not mistaken, because they have to play each other.
But that thing is like, man,
and those non-conference games for schools like USC are schools like Ohio State, and they go to Ohio. I mean, there was
the last time USC came to Ohio
in by SC.
Yeah, what? But like that thing too is like, when's the last time USC's been relevant?
Oof, before the law or before the scandal.
Okay, so that was 05.
So to USC, you're welcome to the Big Ten. You're welcome. This is making this is the best chance USC has of coming back to actually the skill level.
I just want you to know, when y'all start getting spanked by these West Coast schools, if you thought me knocking over buildings in New York was bad, I'm going to the Midwest.
But
everything.
But that's the thing, though, is that Jason, that would be that would be you also admitting, right, that this actually worked.
No, I just want to see y'all suffer. There's a difference.
I mean, it's gonna be funny when USC and UCLA have to play in like Ohio, Michigan, Nebraska come November. Them bitches are gonna freeze their ass off.
California. If you don't work that out, that those guys got to come to California and they have to have the time zone difference, then that's a
oh man, I gotta come to California where I'm not.
It's not gonna be every
balls
time.
Off.
They'll be home and homes, right? Like that's how they usually do it.
Those dudes are gonna be so busy, pogged out at the club, they're not gonna be ready. You're gonna be pogged out at the club. Let's just be honest. They're gonna come to California and be like, golly, man, this is I'm trans, mama, I ain't coming home. I'm trans.
No, that because I mean that's the thing is that I think the only thing that like kind of like where does shit go with the Rose Rose Bowl? Is that even a fucking thing? You know?
Yeah.
Has it really been a thing since the like
05, the greatest championship game of all time?
Oh no, I'm talking about since they started up the tournament.
Yeah, that was like the last. Mac is the last year, right? Was that in Rose Bowl?
Yeah.
USC versus Texas.
Yeah, I mean this is. I mean that's the thing, Marcus. I don't. You know, before Big Ten pilfered, you know, LA schools like they had what they called the working alliance with DC and the Pac-12. We're going to schedule games against each other to kind of like beef up their prospects to getting into the playoff. And they were doing that to kind of offset the SEC's typical dominance of the playoff, where they have been getting 2 teams in every single year for the last few years, right? But the thing is, the ACC, I'm sorry, I live in ACC country. It's a basketball conference.
Thank you.
With 2 that should be dominating it in that haven't done it in forever.
I mean, Miami has been relevant since they lost to Ohio State, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that was 20 years ago.
Literally.
You know, like, you get down to it. What really kicked off the of this tradition, like regional conference bit, was when into the Big East and pulled Miami and Virginia Tech. The minute they did that, it kind of was like a free for all. All right.
Oh, you broke up, man.
In the American athlete, you know, 12. Oh, you guys still got?
Yep, you're good.
You're here now. What did you say? I'm sorry, man. I missed that last part. That sounded really interesting.
No. I mean, but like when it destroyed the Big East, you saw the big pilfered, defections into, you know, other conferences, even with, especially with the big, that kind of settled themselves, losing and pulling in BYU, which is a fairly strong independent program. Cincinnati is a big get because, you know, Luke Fickell has that program just rolling. But like this whole thing is going to settle where you have 2 conferences of 20 teams each. Now, the way I see it working out is you're going to see the Big Ten and the Edison off week members. Like, I think I could see the SEC kicking out like Vandy in Missouri and going after like Arizona State, or, you know, other teams further, or, you know, maybe Texas Tech, maybe TCU, you know, to keep a strong Texas footprint. I can see the Big Ten taking out like Indiana, Northwestern, and bringing in Oregon and Washington.
A bunch of nerds, so anyway.
See this shit. Well, I mean, yeah, but that's the thing with the Big Ten. Every member school before the expansion C teams was a member of the AAU, which was a group of nerd schools that knew they were nerd schools. The minute they let Nebraska in, that broke that kind of standard. I mean, like, look at Maryland. Maryland has like a 32% graduation rate. You know, like, it's one of the worst in the country.
Well, remember that conversation, Marcus, that we had at the loft, where we stayed in New York for the event a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was Appalachian State Loft
Yep.
in Manhattan, and we were asking the gentleman that was running it, who worked for the school. I said, how much did enrollment go up when App State became a Division I school? And how much did he say it went from? It was like a crazy number.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He said it was like by like thousands. You know,
Yeah.
like he said, like applications and by tens of thousands went up. And he said also it was like that when they beat Michigan.
Yeah.
He's
He
like
said
after that
Michigan
win,
went up.
he's like shit went gangbusters. And I mean, like
Yeah,
I remember that
when they joined Division I.
because that's actually how we started talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, when we asked, "Oh, this is a part of Appalachian State," and I was like, "Hey, thanks for that fucking, thanks for the win against Michigan." It's like from Ohio, and he started laughing, and then we started talking about that. But no, I mean, so here's the thing, and this is where like that is a problem, right? And he was pissed about that. He's like, he said he was a music teacher, and and he's like, we don't get shit, It's like we don't get anything. He's like, these fucking, you're getting tens of thousands of dollars. So they're spending all this money on the program. We don't get shit. He was a lot nicer. He probably didn't say that.
He actually was.
He was a very, very nice, respectable man. But he's like, fuck these motherfuckers. No. But no, that's I guess where it goes back to. It's like this type of shit is always gonna, it's always gonna be a problem when you've got schools, when you've got education institutions tied to these multi-million-dollar sports leagues. And I mean, like, I don't know that there's any way around that, because like everything that you're talking about, Mac, like, yeah, because that's what the money's gonna push it to do, That's what the money's pushing it to do right now. It's like, honestly, like there should just be, fucking leagues, like professional leagues for certain ages that aren't ready for the NFL yet.
And maybe that's what we end up getting. But moving forward,
I mean, do you really think that, Jason? I mean, because here's the way I look at it, right? We have this horrible connection between athletics and places of higher education, because what was cemented first, the professional leagues or the college teams? It was the college teams, which were much more wildly popular until the 40s. Outside of professional baseball, right? When you look at basketball, football, hockey, colleges were much more widely followed. It was much more widely followed than the American Original Six teams in the NHL. I mean, the NFL almost wasn't a thing. 3 or 4 professional leagues that just beat each other.
There was multiple professional leagues.
Yeah,
for decades. Yeah,
the 20s until the 60s, right?
I think athletics. We talked about this on the last show. Athletics, in my opinion, and football is a slower mover, is changing drastically. Where these young athletes aren't even shining at their high school. They're shining at the sports academy they go to or the AAU league they're in, and that's what's getting them to the next level. It's the performance at Camp X. Even at the college level, they're talking about people where this guy was an elite 11 QB coming out of high school, and I kind of wonder, is that how certain people still get jobs even in the NFL? What's the young dude that always bounces around as a backup? He was just in I can't think of his. He was at Virginia Tech when they played Stanford in that bowl game. Quarterback, black dude. He's bounced from like every team.
Dude, no, the biggest one I think of when you're talking about this example is Tate Martell. He was a 5-star guy out of Vegas, went to Ohio State, transferred to Miami where he made a position switch to wide, then went back to quarterback, and then transferred to UNLV where he couldn't even win the starting job there. Right. But he is like the dude with like 2 million, Instagram followers, Did he get a pro job somewhere? You don't know yet. No, there's no way. There's no game film on him because he hasn't played. And honestly, he was, I mean, Jason, I'm not kidding. Like he got to Columbus with all this like fanfare. Like he was a transcendent, QB. And the thing is, he couldn't beat out anybody in Columbus. So Miami's going through all this, we need a QB, we need a QB. It's a big market, like he can still do his thing on Instagram and all that shit before NIL. Transfers in Miami, can't even beat out the one kid that they had that was just hurt all the time. Like he was never fully healthy. So he's like, he was a kind of a read option QB. So he had some speed to him. He was shifty in the open field. So he's like, you know what? I'll switch out to wide out. But keep in mind, he's only like 5'10". So he's not a big wide out. He's more of a slot.
Size of course matters. Who was the dude? I can't think of his. I'm drawing a blank on names right now. Who was the guy that was a backup in New England? He came in when Tom Brady had the season-ending surgery or injury. And
Matt Castle, USC.
Matt, do you remember him playing in USC? Because he was backup.
He was a third stringer,
but he got a pro job.
Yeah, he was a third stringer the year he got drafted, and the only reason he got drafted in this, I think it was like the 6th or 7th round, was because Belichick wanted it. That's what got him there.
But still, how many third stringers are going to the league? I guarantee that somebody knew him as a high school recruit.
Yeah.
How many third stringers are going to the league?
Yeah, and that's the thing is
that walk away. Mac, don't forget he signed that fatty deal after that
Kansas
one
City
season as a starter.
Yeah, with Kansas City, he was supposed to be the next big thing, and he only made it 1 year.
Yeah,
maybe half of another season, and then Kansas City was like, "Fuck, let's go out and get Alex Smith."
I can't think of this young man's name. He was okay. He was Cleveland's starting quarterback when they drafted the guy you guys hate that I don't like either.
Johnny Manziel.
No, the new short guy.
You talking Mayfield?
Who's the short guy that's there right now? Yes,
Baker Mayfield.
So who was the quarterback that was a starter?
Oh, before Baker. Oh, dude, there's
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, Manziel was one of them, but they also had Deshaun Kaiser, who was from Notre Dame.
It's after Deshaun Kaiser. He was actually, he was drafted by the Packers, I thought.
No. The Browns traded him to the Packers.
He went to Virginia Tech. He's about 5'10", 6 feet. Yes, Michael Vick did play at Tech. He was after Vick's brother.
Hold on.
I can't think of his name for the life of me. It's killing me. And he was the starter at not Manziel. You got me saying fucking Manziel. He was the starter. They got injured, and then they had to play Baker Mayfield. Tyrod Taylor. Thank you, Jerry.
Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor was one of those Elite 11 kids. And he has definitely managed to have a pretty serviceable pro career.
Yeah, and unfortunately, his whole thing has just been staying healthy. When he got the chance to start in Buffalo, he ended up having a ruptured lung. Like he got hit so hard, it sheared a blood vessel and it ruptured his lung.
Oh my God.
Something happened, and the athletic staff, which like he had air in his chest cavity, so they went to like pop it to release it, and they went right into the lung, so that ruined his chance at starting there.
Oh my!
He's
God.
a serviceable kid that had a okay college career. And there's a few of these guys that are like, oh, you're serviceable, but you have size. We found you when you were, 18, 17 years old, and you've grown into your body. Maybe you had a mediocre college career, but, we can do something with you at the next level.
Well, yeah, but I'm with Marcus. We need to support from the school. And the thing that's going to make that almost impossible is the amount of money that the sports are bringing in. I would like to see us go to, like Coach was saying last time, Jason, a European club system where they identify these kids young, they stay in the system, they get a graduate certificate from high school, but this is what they do, right? And that way you would have universities that actually just focused on university things.
You have a class of athletes.
And then you would have a series of leagues where this young person could cut their teeth in playing. And now when I say series of leagues, The USFL is one of them, which just staged their championship game.
You are
yesterday.
pivoting so well right now. This is all that boxing training right now.
That's right. Yeah.
This is boxing 101 right here. He's not on a line, Marcus. This is why Matt is unhittable. He's not on a line. He's got great footwork movement. This is you're seeing jab steps right now. I'm loving all of this. Please take a look. Look at this. Bam. You need this because that was beautiful.
I'm going to tell you right now. I watched the game. I was at work, but I had it like going on my phone. And I kid you not, it might have been one of the most fun football games I ever watched.
Really?
It went down to the last. Yes. There was a ton of lead changes. Both teams went down to their second string QBs.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Right. So
who was in it, first of all? Who was
the Philadelphia Stars and the Birmingham Stallions.
And who were the quarterbacks for both those teams?
Okay, so we're starting Jamar Chase, who played at Louisiana Tech with their head coach Skip Holtz.
Yes.
He didn't take the starting job until like week 5, but when he did, he's just been on fire, right? And Birmingham constantly played from behind. They just always pulled it out like at the last minute. Philadelphia kind of started really slow, and they had this kid named Chase Cookus, who played at Northern Arizona, an FCS school, who kind of like took the reins, and just kind of like played out of his mind, right? Mm-hmm. So he just opened up big, Birmingham opened up big. I don't know if you guys remember Bo Scarborough, but he was one of those Alabama running backs who was part of the platoon. Never really set himself apart, but the dude's 6'2". 220 pounds of pure muscle who runs like a 4.3.
Jesus.
40. So his first 4 carries, he had 117 yards.
Wait, say that again?
I'm kidding you. 107 first 4 carries, 117 yards. He was just dominant in the first half. And Birmingham got this big lead. And then in the second half, you see Philly just kind of start crawling back. And for whatever reason, Skip Holtz decides, you know what? I got this guy who his first 4 carries, 117 yards. And I'm just not going to give him the ball again until the fourth quarter. So the Birmingham offense kind of gets bogged down. Philly starts coming back. And Chase Cookus, he was scrambling for time to like drop this pass, and somebody rolled up on the back of his leg and he broke the lower bone of his leg.
Oh,
so he's out.
Oh,
right. It's back up. I don't know if you guys remember KJ Costello. He
Stanford?
played at No, he transferred from Stanford to Mississippi State.
Oh, okay.
He was the backup.
Yeah.
He was the backup, right? So Birmingham scores to get within or something like that. Costello comes in, his first pass intercepted. And Birmingham puts points on the board. So Philly, gets the ball back. Costello actually throws a beautiful touchdown pass, right? So Birmingham's down. They are down, right? And their backup quarterback is a guy named something Mago, an Irish, he had this beautiful long flowing hair and this wispy beard. He looked like he was an Abercrombie model. Possession due through a bad pass that was picked off. But in his defense, his stat line was 6 completions on 9 attempts, 69 yards, and a touchdown. So, I mean, that's a pretty rad stat line. But he with Holtz on the sideline, and Skip Holtz nah, dude, chill. We're going to win. And the thing is, he drops this dime to put them up by 3. Birmingham up by 3. So it's 33-30 with a minute left. Okay. Costello completes a couple passes. It's getting down to we have to get in the end zone right the fuck now. Mm-hmm. Dude throws an interception to Scooby Wright.
Ooh.
And Jason, I know you remember Scooby Wright from Air. He picked it off, took it to the house. So it went down to the last second. It was a great championship game. I'll keep this quick, but like it looks like year 2 is going to be pretty good. Fox has got some other to kind of prop the team up, the league up with some extra funds to expand the bubbles. They're going from just playing in Birmingham to maybe 1 to maybe 4 other cities to try and get them back in their home locations. And their plan is to, after the second season, if it's still a viable league, which is still up for debate because, starts a week after the Super Bowl. So we're going to have 2 spring leagues that overlap a bit. But their plan is to expand in year 3. So, I mean, it was fun. It was a good season. My Houston Gamblers finished 1-9, one of the worst teams in the league. So it wasn't.
That's where Jim. I keep want to say Harbaugh. Jim Kelly played
USFL.
He lit it up for the Houston Gamblers.
Oh yeah, he did. That's where the fun and gun was started.
Got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. I'd say though, I did.
Speaking of quarterbacks, does anyone know the name of the quarterback that is pictured on our thumbnail?
I was looking at that face, Jason, and I saw the color of the jersey, and I'm like, it's got to be a Stanford QB.
It's not.
I got nothing, man.
It's Cardinals. It's the NFL St. Louis Cardinals.
So we're going back to the Cardinals. Well, didn't we do Tom Tupa not too long ago?
Was it Tom Tupa? No, it was John Freeze or someone like that for the Chargers. Maybe I did put Tom Tupa.
No, you put Tupa up there because we had the whole discussion about him switching from being a QB to punting, and that he was an Ohio State alum.
That would have been something I did. No, this guy actually played for. I'll give you even a better clue. He played for the 1969 Trojans. I'll give you 2 minutes. Another clue. He was a very successful coach in the NFL. Last clue, he's from the Bay Area. Does anyone know? Does the
Jim Jones?
Know? Anyone? Does anyone know?
Jim Plunkett.
Nope. Jim Plunkett went to Stanford and won a Heisman there. This guy did not win a Heisman, but he was part of an undefeated USC team.
Clarence McCleary.
No, but that's a wonderful name, and I think that's one of your aliases.
That's the whitest name I've ever heard, Marcus.
Have you seen him? Look at the picture of this guy.
I'll say it again. He was a very successful coach in the NFL.
Rusty Shackelford. Just tell us the damn
I will give you one Whitey McWhiteface. I'll give you one last clue. One last clue. This man
that's actually my alien.
Is part of the Bill Walsh coaching tree.
So Walsh,
if anyone in the chat knows, you can answer this question. I will send you a This Is Revolution t-shirt.
I feel like you've said enough things that people should be able to like just Google it.
I mean, that's dirty. We're better than that. Everyone watching the show is better than that. Here,
I'll Red Wizard's out here actually saying my.
I'm going to do this. Name. Here, look. Hold on. Look. You can look at the guy. Ah, Hitler.
Wait,
eight. 6 JCD. You are right.
It does look like Gruden.
Holmgren.
That's Gruden.
I gave you guys many clues. It was Mike Holmgren.
I didn't know Holmgren played at USC. I'm Mussolini. Il Duce got tired of doing.
Wait, speaking of, if you Google office ornament and hit the image tab, it's a bunch of Nazi shit.
Wow. How? Why?
Literally, I don't know. But office ornament, you just hit the images, it's Nazi office ornaments.
Jerry says the only Bill Walsh tree guy I ever heard of. He said Mike Holmgren. Dennis Green is part of the Bill Walsh tree. Ray Rhodes is part of the Bill Walsh tree. Mike Shanahan is part of the Bill Walsh coaching tree.
Man.
John Gruden is part of the Bill Walsh.
Chucky.
Jim Fossil. The original picture I tried to get it, I couldn't save it for a reason. Was Jim Fossil was Holmgren's backup.
Wow.
Who else is part of the Bill Walsh coaching tree? Sam Weish.
Yeah, I mean, and then you had Seifert, Mariucci.
Yep. Did we say John Gruden?
Yes, yep. we talked Chucky because Chucky was Holmgren's QB coach for a little bit. Trying
There's
to think
a lot
who
of
else
that
played that
jobs from that. Was like, Mark Trestman part of that coaching tree as well?
Oh, Trestman, no. Remember, Trestman cut his teeth in Canada.
But did he go to the Niners staff at some point?
I think he...
how am I forgetting Broncos Super Bowl winning coach, Gary Kubiak?
Yeah, that's true.
Or no, was Walsh gone by then, by the time Kubiak went to the Niners?
No, I think Kubiak was there for the last year.
Okay.
I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. So
that picture, I have a picture that I had of Jim Fossil, but I was like, that's evil to put Jim Fossil up and be like, who is this coach? No one would have fucking guessed that shit.
You could have said like the dude coached Kerry Collins in the Giants too. I mean,
no one would have gotten that.
I would have remembered that.
Kubiak had better pass completion than Elway. I mean, maybe because he threw 8 passes in 100 years, but there's
yeah. No, hey, JCD, you're absolutely right. I think he spent like a year in San Fran before he went to the CFL.
I swear Trestman was on that staff at some point in time. But yeah, Mike Holmgren went to, because we were talking about USC, UCLA, and I was like, who is a USC quarterback that these guys would never know because everyone forgets he played there?
Dude, I didn't even know Holmgren played in college.
You just thought he was a failed history teacher in Daly City? No,
I mean, fuck. Weird things have happened, you know?
Yeah. I could have just put a picture of Lendale White. You guys wouldn't have got that either.
Well, I knew Lendale. But you know what you could have said that would have got me, Jason, where I would have clicked? He spent 2 horrible years as the head of the Browns organization. And I would have.
Wow! Towards the end.
No, at the end. That was his last. That was his last NFL gig. Was like senior vice president of football operations or some nonsense.
That's still. I feel like there's people in Cleveland that still hate a lot of San Francisco people that turned like Dwight Clark and all those people. I think they still hate those people because of that. Oh
fuck yeah, dude! The horrible thing. Bringing in like a crew that was so far like out of the loop on what, you know, football, what was becoming, you know, like just still so stuck in that short pass and power run game. And even when he was the head of the Browns, like the game was changing. It was opening up. You had, you know, the slot receiver was actually somebody very, very important to an offense. Even then, you know, like,
we need a slot receiver for. We got a pro set. We got a pro set here.
Yeah.
We're going to fool them.
We need 2 tight ends who can't catch the ball. They're just there to block. We're going to have a fullback. We're going to have a running back. And you know what? Jeff Garcia is going to quarterback this team. Right? And it's just
a 5 foot 8 inch man
who played at San Jose State and Calgary, you know, in the CFL.
Just my luck, Jeff Garcia moves down to Mexico and tries to fuck me up for watching this show.
He's petty as fuck. Like when people are calling him out on his multiple failed marriages to Playboy models. Like he got butthurt on Twitter and like he just got tired of taking shit from everybody. Like it was hilarious.
Didn't he have a son that played college ball?
Oh man.
Was that his son?
I don't think it. Yeah, you're talking South Carolina, right? No,
yeah,
I don't.
Son, right?
I don't know if that's his kid. I wouldn't be surprised because it's like they were both physically limited, couldn't get the ball more than 10 yards on field. Needed a really to make them look good to win 7 games. So yeah, I mean, maybe that is his kid. They have a lot there in common.
Jeff, I just want you to know I didn't say that shit. So when you come with the heater, you
I
come
did.
look Mac.
I said it, and I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I threatened to fight Johnny Manziel on Twitter, so I don't care. All right.
That's not real
Johnny
shit.
Manziel
I mean, like, come on.
Owens.
Oh, hey, fucking someone at fucking at some middle school somewhere. I'm challenging you to a fight. You know, like, come on, Johnny Manziel. Like,
I saw Johnny Manziel.
Yo, Marcus, he was talking shit about the Cavs, and I'm like,
I'm
bro,
I'm just saying, like, that's not a real fight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a fight. I would go on TV. I would tell him, you know what?
You would fucking wax his ass in like fucking like it would not take not 2 minutes. Okay, like it's not a real fight. That's what I'm saying.
But what league is he playing? He's playing in some sort of arena league. Johnny Manziel and Terrell
Troll
Owens?
League, where literally fans they air on Twitch, and the fans can call certain amount of plays. Terrell Owens played in it their past season.
Yes,
Jesus.
I saw Johnny throw a dime to T.O.
Oh, yep.
Jesus.
T.O. wants to get back in the league.
Oh, he's trying like hell. That's
my quarterback.
Okay, I'm gonna piss everybody off. I'm sorry, guys.
No.
Marcus is only here for a limited amount of time.
Okay, before you kick this off, this is what I'm gonna do. Everybody in chat, I want you to think about this, and then when we come on air next time, do you think that Rudy Gobert was worth 4 players and 4 picks when he was traded from the Jazz to the Timberwolves? Because I think Minnesota got fucking robbed. So now, Jason, go ahead and punish everybody that's been.
I'm 10.
I want to ask Mac. I want to ask you one question. I want to ask you and Marcus one question before I do this, and I am going to punish the shit out of everybody. I just want you guys to know you will be punished. Does Durant make a return to the Dubs for no?
I think he ends up in Toronto.
Really?
Yep. They can offer a lot of picks, a couple players, and the thing is, Toronto would still be able to be competitive in the East. So I think you add Durant, that puts them over a lot of teams.
Toronto?
Yep. And I think Kyrie, as much as I don't know how it's going to happen, I think it'll be like a 3-team trade, but I think Kyrie ends up in LA with the Lakers.
Does Kyrie and LeBron kind of a worthless match, much like AD in the LeBron?
No, I think Kyrie realizes that his bread was buttered the best when he was playing next to LeBron. Because, I mean, let's put it this way. He flamed out in Boston being the man. He flamed out in Brooklyn being the man, so to speak. He needs LeBron. And right now the Lakers would take any help they can get so they can, go ahead and chase another ring.
Does LeBron need another ring to be one of the greatest of all time?
Well, I think he's already one of them.
Yeah.
But I think for him, because of the constant Jordan comparisons, I think he's going to chase rings until his career's over. So he's a free agent after next season, dude. If LA doesn't do enough to kind of reload, I can see him walking. And I don't think it's just going to be to the team that drafts Bronny.
Back to Cleveland.
No, I don't want him there. I
appreciate those wins the championship in San Francisco with Steph.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but he would have to take the veteran minimum because Joe Lacob is fucking taxed to the gills as a repeat offender. So that dude is when the season starts, Jason, he's going to pay $3.25 for every dollar over the salary cap to the league. Mm-hmm. He's been over the cap for 5 straight years.
Jesus.
So essentially what's going to happen is they're probably going to go on a run next season and then they're going to have to blow it up. Because when you hit 6 years, it's some astronomical number. It's $6 or $7 per dollar you're over, and I get it. He's so rich, he wipes his ass with fucking $100 bills. But at a certain point, This rich dude's like, man, I can't pay for this shit anymore. You know? And Owen, he's not going to the Knicks. The Knicks aren't prepped to win shit. This is what, stop it. Stop it. Owen, if you don't take that back and you put in chat, I take it back, you know what? We're going to like soft ban you where you can watch, but you can't comment. All right? Like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. He's going to the Knicks.
Michael McGuire says Paul Brown invented the West Coast offense. I will challenge you and say Paul Brown did not. Bill Walsh did while he was there with Paul Brown.
Yep. That's what I think
that was not a Paul
Tom
Brown.
Brady. Yeah. Speaking of Strom's, Tom Brady is gotten into the NFT advertising game.
Yeah. And I'm so glad he left the Patriots so I don't have to deal with that shit. Because I can't take a bunch of massholes like, yo, check out Tommy's NFT. He's got a bunch of fucking bored apes at the fucking donkeys.
Bored apes, dude.
That being said, everyone, I have to play you this again. I am risking.
Man, everybody in chat.
I'm risking the. Look, Michael, Bill Walsh told me at the barbershop that he invented it all. And
Jason,
yes.
For 10 minutes after this, we're not friends. Just for 10 minutes.
I'm messing with you, Mike. I have no idea. But no, Bill Walsh did coach and in Cincinnati.
Yes.
With Paul Brown, and he actually had the idea, I think, because their team was so bad, their running game was so bad, from my understanding, that he changed up the offense a little bit, and Brown accepted it. And there was a bunch of beef between who would be the coach after Brown stepped down, and I think that's when Walsh ends up leaving soon after that, right?
I believe that's correct, yes.
Goes to either Stanford or Fremont or Washington High. And but I have to play this for you guys. This is the opening song, or the main song from the movie Fly By Night. It is called Mac Daddy Black, and is a story rap about a dastardly individual of the inner city that is a, as Joe Biden would say, real bad dude.
Yeah, and it's not me. It's not me.
So yo, you never heard about Mac Daddy Black, the nigga from the projects who was known for selling crack.
Clock G's every day on the quick tip. He was not the type of nigga you should fuck with.
Respected and protected like Fort Knox, knocking niggas out the box with his fat rock.
Gold heavy, drove a Benz, not a Chevy, and fast like a motherfucking fox.
Fast to pull the trigger of his 9, always ready, kept it loaded all the time.
With a pocket full of clips, he's equipped with a grip that will catch you right between the fucking eyes.
A body count which extends about a mile.
Hookers love him, say he's got a sexy smile.
He's the pimp with a limp, eating shrimp.
Making money with his workers out there pumping vials.
So much money, gotta keep it in his sack.
You'd be surprised how many people love the crack.
Now you might not agree with the way he makes his money. He don't give a fuck, he's Mac Daddy Black. In the ghetto.
Daddy's in his penthouse looking out the window, puffing on a blunt and reminiscing about the suckers he had to smoke while on his mission. To the spot where he now stands, Daddy feels grand. Got a drink in his left hand. Dopey looking house upstate on his own land. Police on his dick, but he don't give a damn.
Now you might not agree with the way he makes his money. He don't give a fuck, he's Mac Daddy Black.
I like how it looked like one of those kung fu movies from the 70s when they dubbed it wrong.
You know, Jason is like Coming to America after Sexual Chocolate gets off of stage.
That boy good.
And there's only one. There's only one motherfucker in the whole damn audience. Boy can sing.
I just want everybody in chat to know this wasn't Marcus and myself. This was Jason.
Oh, Jason.
I want
that boy can sing.
everyone. Everyone watching right now, please go watch. It's on YouTube. Fly By Night.
Don't do this.
I want you guys to watch it. Comment on this show. Comment on my Twitter timeline. I want to know what you guys think about this movie because I've never been more in. I did a whole deep dive. I did research about blaxploitation and different forms of it. This movie came up. I was like, oh, I'll watch it at some point. You know how many like Negro films I watched for the video essay?
I'm upset at you still. Hold on. I'm upset at you still for making me watch that Sarah Jessica Parker fucking thing, dude.
Oh,
that was awful.
Holy shit. That was
where she called him a nigger. Stupid nurse.
You know what, Marcus? One, thank you for like giving me the verbal smack in the face to talk some sense into me. I'm not bonus episodes
I'm
with
telling
you from movies because I feel like you're like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with Mac and set him up for failure on this one and make him watch the most awful thing in the world.
Because the thing is like, well, you'll be up there with a bunch, a few other black people, and while you're watching the movie, Mac, they're watching you. It's like, is he reacting properly? Are you reacting like an ally, Mac?
I'm going to, but like, there are going to be some things I laugh at because I just have a horrible sense of humor sometimes. Because, like, I mean, dude, this is the horrible. I'm not trying to keep you longer, Marcus. I know you got to go, but this is not the horrible part of it being any kind of like 03 series or 11 series in the military. You learn to laugh at the dumbest and most horrible stuff, and it's a defense mechanism. Like, this is grossing me out, but like, it's kind of funny, like it's so bad, and like I have to fight the urge to this day to not like laugh at some stuff. Like, my buddy stepped on a nail at work, one of these like, and like the dude's screaming, there's like blood spurting out, and I'm like trying not to laugh at him, like
before we go, I have to watch, you have to watch this part. So this is after the dude meets the white chick, and the white chick, I guess, falls in love real quick. And then she's like, hey, you're a rapper. My sister's having a birthday party in Long Island. Why don't you come down and bring your apparently drug dealing hoodlum friends and perform at my sister's 16th birthday party? And this is the scene where her mother tells these young rappers how she feels about their music.
To what you heard from the royal king, as I sing, ain't nothing but a thing. To many, I'm a living legend, using knowledge as a weapon, I'm king.
Your songs are garbage. Want some more coffee?
Jesus
Why
Christ.
do all the lyrics have to be about drugs?
Because that's the way it is.
There's an answer.
That's what we grew up with. That's where we live. Now, if we lived here, we'd rap about Oak Brand and the Maid, but we don't. I mean, somebody got to tell the people about the way it really is. The white media never will.
You just end up glorifying drugs.
If a black man in my neighborhood wants to make cash money, he can either play sports, make music, or sell drugs. Word. I'm too small for professional sports. I couldn't afford turntables and a mixer, so I sold drugs, but just to buy equipment.
Now there's a plan.
Yeah, see, I turned a negative into a positive.
It wasn't so positive for the poor kids in your neighborhood you sold them to.
He didn't sell drugs to kids in our neighborhood. There's kids who just want to get high for some heavy metal concert or drive up and...
So once again, I have to call out the beautiful screenwriting in this movie. So here you have a young man that apparently sells drugs in his neighborhood, but despite all the crackheads and drug addicts in the neighborhood, they just don't exist in this neighborhood. It's only white kids that are commuting in to buy their dope. I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go throw myself into 4th of July traffic, and hopefully get hit by a truck with a big MAGA flag on it.
Wait.
So I really go out miserable and unhappy.
Wait, somebody said a motherfucker look like Victor Cruz.
Why is Victor Cruz dirty like that, man?
Hey, look. Watch this.
Down Northern Boulevard yelling at each other at stoplights. Drugs mean something different in my neighborhood. It's not just fun.
And what? Is that supposed to redress the balance somehow?
You're supposed to make him some dollars so he can buy some equipment.
Malcolm X said, by any means necessary.
Malcolm X said a lot of things. How come that's the only one any of you guys remember?
Oh my God, the white woman! No! No!
You want me to
Oh my God, Marcus, that's it. I'm done.
I gotta go. Yeah. I gotta go. I gotta go.
Thank you guys for enjoying another episode of Beyond the Red Zone on This Is Revolution. Once again, please, if you want me to do this for a movie night and we can all watch it, I will pause it and you guys can say, Jason, I want to address something here. Jason, you're out of your mind. Jason, you're an asshole.
Hey, everybody. If this is the last episode of Beyond the Red Zone you see, it's because Marcus and I officially just like yeeted our. That's what we did after watching that.
Yep.
That's it.
Why is this the only thing you people know about Malcolm? First, Marcus, that dude is selling drugs for equipment, apparently.
Jason, I gotta go. My man, I got to go. I cannot talk about this fucking movie anymore, Jason.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Fly By Night is a movie. If you want to do this on Patreon,
Oh my
and even
God.
if you want like a
They know.
hit me up. We will watch it. I love y'all.
Don't encourage his ass.
Don't. I'm with Marcus. Do not.
You'd be surprised how many people love the crack. And you can take that however you want to take it.